Hi friends. It's cooled down enough so that I can finally have a proper cup of coffee. Like, it actually went below 20 today. I hope you all enjoyed last week's video. If you haven't seen it yet, I'll link it up here. For me, as I'm filming, it just got posted today and it already has 1 dislike. Every so often a video of mine will get 1 dislike, maybe 2, but usually just 1. And I like to imagine that it's just the same person every single time who just comes to hate watch all my videos and just systematically disliking every single video. If you're the notorious disliker, please comment down below. I would love to chat. Just let me know why you hate my videos so much. Also, I know my lips look a little crazy today. They looked a little crazy last week. If you don't know, I get filler periodically. Last week was just a touch-up appointment, but she wanted me to come back this week to do a follow-up, which is why they're back to where they were, all swollen and bruised. I promise next week they will be back to normal. So for today's video, we're taking a little bit of a break from the palette potential series that has been going on the channel for the Rococo palette. It's been really fun. I'm really enjoying that palette, but I'm sitting on a lot of stuff that I should probably film with sooner rather than later. So today's video is going to be a first impressions of a bunch of new stuff, new to me at least, including but not limited to a little package I got from Hank and Henry last week. They sent me some of their new stuff and I am so excited to dig into it. So thank you, Hank and Henry, for sending this my way. I really appreciate it. Y'all are the best. I also have a couple of things to try out from Sephora, also some drugstore stuff. It's gonna be a fun day and I think it's mostly a full face. So I think we should just jump on in. If that sounds like fun to you, then please keep on watching and let's get started. Oh boy, I feel like such a ragamuffin today, folks. My lips are all bruised, I'm missing a nail, I desperately need a haircut. So what did Hank and Henry send me, you might ask? Well, let me tell you. If you're on my Patreon, you will have seen this already. I did a little sneak preview of this PR kit. They sent me their entire new brush line, their brand new contour sticks, also this adorable hand mirror. Look at this adorable owl dude. This is like a proper PR kit. This is not very common in my world. So I'm so grateful they sent me the full range because the ones that I don't use today are going straight into my kit. Also some stuff from Sephora. I ran out of concealer, so I decided to pick up a new one to try. This is the Kosas Super Creamy and Brightening Concealer. I've heard good things about it and it looks really nice. I also picked up the new Fenty Heat Gloss Bomb. I've been shopping around for a tinted lip gloss that's in like a red or a coral color, so I'm hoping this fits the bill. I have a little Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream to try out, which I've never tried before. Picked up some new blush from Fenty. It's not a new formula. The cream blush formula has been around for a while, but it's a color that I've had in my wish list for ages. It's called Daiquiri Dip, and I just thought, you know, And then I also grabbed some drugstore goodies. The dupe for the KVD Good Apple foundation that people have been trying on TikTok. This is the CoverGirl and Olay Simply Ageless foundation. Full disclaimer, I have used this a couple times, but I did want to show it on camera, and my thoughts aren't fully formed on this yet, so I definitely want to talk through it a little bit more. Also, I heard people talking about this on TikTok. It's the infallible 24-hour fresh wear pressed powder. Also, Thomas Halbert raves about this stuff. Finally caved and grabbed this from my local London Drugs. It's the Physicians Formula All-Star Face Palette. I've resisted this palette for so long, and then Tati talked about it in her recent favorites video. Does anyone else feel like it's as if Tati never left? It looks beautiful. It smells beautiful. And then out of nowhere, Kiss just comes and drops this bomb. These are from the Lash Couture Triple Push-Up collection. I have another pair of lashes from that collection that I really like, but these are on a whole nother level. These reminded me so much of some of my favorite bold-face lashes. They look wild, so had to try those. Oh my gosh, folks, if you could feel these brushes. It looks like we've got a couple of powder brushes, like a nice all over the face powder brush. This looks like it would be good for powder blush or powder contour. This one looks like it would be good for either foundation or for cream contour and bronzer. This one as well looks like it would be good for that because it's kind of the same shape as this brush that I already use for cream contour. This is the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. It's supposed to be a foundation brush, but I use it for contour just because I like the dome shape for this area to hollow out the cheekbone. I love these little handles, these little stubby guys. I think they're so cute. I love their original handle design as well. They're very sturdy and they feel great in your hands, but these are so cute. They're like little chubbies. I love them. So these are the Hank and Henry cream contour sticks. I think the two that I'll most likely use today are Hazel Teen and Suela. Let's get started with a little bit of primer. I used my points for this, which I don't know if I'll regret, but this is the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream. People rave about this one and the Bobbi Brown vitamin enriched face base. Both have absolutely insane claims. But Robbie Christie swears by this stuff, so I trust her. So let's give this a shot. I'm already wearing some SPF, but I do like to add a little bit of primer before putting on makeup. Probably already have too much, but let's give this a whirl. It's very silky, definitely a rich texture. Not too thick, but it's not like a water cream. It doesn't disperse immediately. I can definitely feel it on my skin. And it's not technically a primer. I think it's just a face moisturizer, but lots of people use it underneath their makeup. Feels nice, feels good. But yeah, I can feel it on my face. It's not sinking into my skin. It's very much there. It's present. All right, I want to dive into this new concealer. I just ran out of my absolute die-hard favorite, which is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. Makes me so upset because it's so expensive. And this one isn't much better. The price point is relatively the same, but people rave about this one. And the color range is really interesting. I really appreciated all the different undertones that they had displayed. So I'm really curious to see if this is a good match for me. I definitely hummed and hawed over it. This is in the shade 2.5C. I think we should just give it a whirl. Oh, I do not like that smell. It smells a little bit like paint. Let's start with the under eyes first. Start tapping that in. Oh, it's a little darker than the one I used from NARS, which is actually okay for the summer, really. It says on the label 2.5C, which I assume means for cool undertones. Maybe it's just because compared to my very cool toned pink skin, it pulls a bit warmer. I think it looks a bit yellow, actually. Maybe it's to counteract cool tones in skin. In any case, it blended really nicely into the skin, really melted away. Works great with the fingers. I think it's actually a pretty decent match. If I wanted to just use this and then throw some powder on top and not bother with foundation, I think I could do that with this. And it eliminates enough of my dark circles and redness that I think this might actually be a decent fit for me. I think the real test will be trying to cover up these two buddies over here. Also, let's see how it tackles the redness on my cheeks. Let's grab a damp sponge and go to town. You're wondering why I'm doing concealer before foundation. This is part of my normal routine. I actually recently just did a video where I talk through it pretty much step by step. So I'll link that up here. Wow, it actually is doing really well to tackle the redness in my skin. Oh, buddy, why'd you have to show up today? This one was very nearly almost gone, and then its crazy cousin from out of town just decided to show up uninvited. And it's just one of those that's lurking right under the surface. You know, the ones that are really painful to the touch. Minus this behemoth. This looks like a really good skin day. You know what I mean? Kind of perfectly canceled out all of my redness. Kind of just left me looking like I have flawless skin. We'll see how it holds up over the day, but so far I'm really impressed. All right, time to dive into some foundation. I feel like cream foundations are coming back in a big way. They've been around for a while. Like, I know that this foundation in particular has been around for a long time. This one claims to be wrinkle defying, which we will see about that. The last couple times that I've used this definitely settled into some of my fine lines. I wouldn't say that it was crease free, but then again, it's been hot. I did wear this on a day where I was out and about all day long, and it actually held up really, really well over the course of like a 6-7 hour day out in the blazing sun. So I'm still a bit undecided. I think I'm going to use the little flat top for foundation because I want to pinpoint exactly where I want to place my foundation today. I don't think I want to layer too much foundation on top of the concealer. I like what the concealer's doing, so I want to let it do its job. What I've been doing is taking a flat top brush and just stippling it around to mix some of that moisturizer that's swirled in there. All right, let's give this a whirl. It's kind of crazy when you put it on, actually. I can see the appeal, especially on TikTok, for that very viral moment. It looks beautiful on the skin when you first apply it. There's something very satisfying about that cream texture gliding over the skin. And it's super full coverage, so a little bit goes a long way. The shade match is pretty decent. It's very neutral. And the SPF 28 really excites me. You know you're old when. We'll see how it looks in a couple of hours, but right now the base is looking very nice. The downside to this foundation is that the shade range is atrocious, and there's absolutely no reason for that anymore. Let's look at the under eyes. Yeah, there's definitely some creasing going on. That's par for the course for my under eyes though, so it's not the end of the world. We'll just make sure to pat them out before powdering down. It's not egregious. I can't get over this skin. It looks really nice. Ooh, Sorry, can we just talk about this packaging? It's plastic, but it looks very swank, very much into the frosted texture. This is Suella. Oh, and it's like the perfect cool tone for lighter skin. I'll probably definitely go in with that one today. And this is Hazel Teen, which is a little bit warmer, although not as warm as I thought it would be from the packaging. So just a titch darker. They're very creamy. I mean, they are very similar, but I like that there is a nice step down between them. I always feel so all over the place when I'm doing first impression videos. It's none of my usual products, so I'm very much out of my element. You don't want to forget to use any of the new stuff, so my head feels always a bit garbled when I'm doing these. For the contour, I'm going to go in with this little stubby dome brush. It's very tightly packed, and I think we'll go in with Suella. Just do a little bit of dotting around the face. I'm going to start stippling this in. It's a little bit stiffer in texture, so stippling won't quite work. So we're swiping instead. It's not lifting product underneath, so I think we're safe. That is such a good color. It's not drying down too quickly, which is good because I always forget to work in sections with new products. That has definitely come back to bite me in the ass before. Clean up a little bit underneath. It is a very good color. It's very subtle, but it doesn't look gray, which is always something that I'm worried about when you get a really cool toned contour. I think to add a little bit more depth, I'm gonna go in with Hazel Teen, but I'm gonna take it directly on the brush this time and then tap it out on the back of my hand. Yeah, I think I like it better on the brush than going directly in with the stick on the skin. This base is just killing it today. I'm just gonna tap into a little bit of the foundation, wipe most of it off the back of my hand, and then just use it to clean up this edge. There's always that bit of a learning curve with new products where you kind of have to just futz with them until you feel comfortable with the formulas. Kind of like a break-in period. That's a good spot. Like, that cheek is good. Let's try doing a bit of nose contour. I really wanted to test out this little stubby guy for the nose. So let's go back into Suella. Let's try Hazel Teen. All right, let's blend that out with my sponge. Yeah, this brush is the perfect nose contour brush. Moving on to a little bit of cream blush before we powder everything down. And this is bright. I will say, it's intense. I just love a good pop of blush. Like, it's just so beautiful. And once you blend it out, it looks more normal. Do I want to use my fingers or do I want to use my sponge? Sponge will definitely take less time, so let's just do that. I'm gonna just take a little bit on the butt like that. And let's just start patting this right on. Ooh, I have this same formula in the color Rose Latte, which is a stunning dark dusty rose blush, which I actually leave at home. I don't bring it here because it's my go-to blush for like when I'm going out or something, but I really like this formula. Like, you see how easy it is, just dip in with your blender and just bounce it, and it just blends so gorgeously into the skin. And see how it's not ultra super pigmented? Like, you'd have to build it up to get that real fiery orange red. And we're gonna powder over this too, so I don't mind going a little bit overboard because it'll probably get dialed back by the powder. Oh, if I wasn't such a creasy bitch, I could just leave all this and not powder. Like, that is editorial, baby. I feel like so many cream blushes came out this year. This one kind of got lost in the shuffle. Also, it was kind of one of the first ones to come out. I think this came out last year, kind of before cream blushes were really hitting their stride. If it came out this year, it probably would have made a bit more of a splash. This is almost the exact color of my sunburn. All right, no new powder today. I am running low, however, though, so if anyone has any good loose powder recommendations, I will happily take them. Actually, under eyes aren't looking too dang bad, if I do say so. Hasn't really dried down at all, but the creasing is kind of abated now that I've knocked them out a couple times. Really enjoying this base today. It's definitely coming off more full coverage. Oh shoot, I forgot to use this. I was gonna use this powder brush. Ah, beans. I'm sorry, brush. Let's use you now. All right, just to brighten a teensy weensy bit more under the eyes, sort of in this little triangle area, let's dip into this infallible powder. It looks like it's gonna be very brightening. So let's just pick up a little bit on a brush. Oh, she powdery. Tap this into that area here. Definitely did something. Oh, that's looking nice. That definitely does exactly what I wanted it to do. No new brow products, so I'm just going to run off camera and do that really quick, and then we will come back and continue on with the rest of the fun. All right, we're back with some eyebrows and some freckles. I'm so excited to dip into this. If you know me, you know how much I love butter bronzer. Been using it since literally day one on this channel. There's just something about it. The texture, so silky, so smooth, and the smell, there's just something magical about butter bronzer. But I am really excited to dip into some of their other stuff as well. I don't know what is going on here. Oh, what is this tomfoolery? Oh, they made sure no one would be swatching this in the store. The smell coming off this thing is wild. We have the classic butter bronzer here. We have the matte Monoi bronzer. Rose All Day Petal Glow, which is gonna be way too dark for me as a highlight. This looks like it's gonna be perfect. The Power Palette Mineral Glow Pearls. Plus we have a blush here, the Happy Booster Glow and Mood Boosting Blush. Oddly enough, this does not smell like regular butter bronzer. It kind of has a fruitier smell. It kind of smells like Flintstones vitamins. It's not unpleasant. Why don't we dip into some bronzer? I really want to test out that matte Monoi bronzer. Just because we've seen me use butter bronzer about 1,000 times, let's try something new. That's what today is about, trying new things. It looks like it's gonna be quite warm, and let's go in. Oh yeah, very, very warm. The texture and color is very much like Benefit Hoola, and she's quite pigmented. The color is definitely there right away. Let's throw a little bit over top of my freckles here. See how the cream blush kind of toned down quite a lot once we powdered over top of it? It's kind of in the perfect place. But in true me fashion, I want to add a bit more ambient blush on the apples of the cheeks just to pick up that glow, give us a nice transition into the highlight. I think this is gonna be perfect for that. Definitely has a bit of a sheen to it. So I'm gonna go in with the angled powder brush from Hank & Henry. Yeah, it's glowing. It's got a little sparkle running through the formula. So it does catch the light, but it doesn't have that glazed effect that I prefer from an ambient blush. I do really enjoy this cheek combination though. I have no idea how this is gonna come off onto the face. It seems very cool toned. She's pretty beamy though. Let's run this brush over. Oh, these formulas are dusty. Oh my God, there is glitter all over my desk. Pray for me. Okay, all right. Definitely very light. It's got a nice texture on the skin. Once you get it on the face, looks great. I was genuinely fearing for my life though when it started flying everywhere. I like it. I wish it leaned a little bit warmer, like into the champagne rose gold arena, but for what it is, I really like it. I'm just gonna grab a little bit more blush to soften that a little bit. All right, for eyes, I wanna keep it really simple because honestly, I'm getting a little bit of eyeshadow fatigue and I just don't wanna fight with eyeshadow today. So I am going to just slap some of this bronzer into the crease, maybe throw a bit of highlighter on the lid. I really do not want to fuss with it today. Let's just go in with a little bit of the matte Monoi bronzer. Maybe grab a little bit of butter bronzer just to blend it out on the edge with. This is a great travel trick. If you really don't feel like carting around an entire eyeshadow palette, just throw your bronzer in the crease, throw your highlight on the lid, call it a day. I really want to see what happens if I put this onto the lid. I have a feeling it's gonna look really nice. Oh, definitely. And then, oh, inner corner, let's throw a little bit of this guy here. All right, why don't I go do this on the other side and then we will come back and try some new lashes. I feel like this is the most basic I've been in a minute. We're on the home stretch. Let's try out these new lashes. I'm so excited. I have a feeling these are gonna be quite intense. Oh, and they are very much real stuck in there. Oh my God. No, it broke. It snapped clean in half trying to get out of the package. Oh, good gravy. Guess I have to be a little bit more delicate. Okay, this one managed to come clean. I'm really sad I just broke that one because I think these are going to be really beautiful. Good thing they're drugstore, huh? So let's chop these because I have a feeling they're going to be quite long. Ooh. Okay, these are definitely some of the more baddie lashes that I've found at the drugstore. Usually a drugstore lash is quite demure. These have some serious length, like full on boldface vibes for sure. Very similar to a pair of Huda lashes that I really like, the number 23s. Not bad for a drugstore lash. And they're really wispy too, like they're not too heavy or spiky. I don't think they'll replace my boldface lashes, but in a pinch, you know, like your favorite pair of lashes finally goes kaput, you don't have time to put it in order. You could just run to your local pharmacy and pick up a pair of these. Just threw a little bit of NYX Jumbo Pencil and Strawberry Milk in the waterline. Part of me kind of wishes that more of this color came through on the cheek. I think I might just ever so gently just grab a little bit, pounce a little bit more onto the skin. Over top of powder too, that's pretty impressive. I think we're just about there. All that's left to do is a lip, and we're gonna keep it really simple. I think I'm just gonna use just the gloss. I think we're in that kind of mood today. Everything's very fresh, glowy, not exactly minimal, but definitely simple. So I think this is gonna be the perfect cap. This is the Fenty Gloss Bomb Heat, and there are plumping ingredients in this. I think it is pepper. Not like my lips need any more plumping than they have already received in the last 2 weeks, but I'm curious. I actually primarily bought this for the color and not for the plumping properties because a nice sheer fiery gloss, it's such a look, especially with minimal eyeshadow, lots of blush. So I'm really hoping that this is the vibe that I'm going for. And it smells like cherries, just FYI. It's definitely tingly, like in a peppery sort of way, not in a minty way. Ooh, oh, but that color is sensational. That is the perfect color of gloss. I knew it was gonna go perfect with this blush. Oh, yes. Oh, it's like your lips, but better. You know what I mean? And there's no pearlescence in this formula either. It is a nice flat, juicy gloss. It's heating up a little bit more. Not unbearable, but she's a little spicy. I'm gonna call it a day, folks. And that heat's sticking around. Like, it's definitely still present, but look how smooth it is. Oh, it's got that like nice jelly kind of finish. Oh, that's such a good gloss. And a little bottom mascara to finish everything off. All right, and I think we're done, guys. I'm so glad this video turned out positive. I really needed a win. First impressions videos can be so hit or so miss. From the last first impressions that I did on this channel, it is like night and day. It is just so lovely when things work out. There's nothing better than trying a new product and having it just be everything you wanted it to be and more. I mean, aren't those the best makeup moments? Most everything here just went off without a hitch. I'm really enjoying pretty much everything that's on my face right now. Let's talk through it. Going all the way back to the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream. I'm not gonna lie, my foundation is laying down real nice. And now I don't know if that is the foundation or the primer or a combination of the two, but I will say that it is a really nice combo. Also, the under eyes are still looking really nice. Sometimes a concealer will fight you even after you've powdered it down and just be a general pain. So it's nice to see that this has stayed in place. The match is pretty much dead on. In fact, this kind of makes me want to try out their foundation because if they have this same shade, that would be perfect. I would also like to try the shade up from this as a more brightening concealer because I do like a good brightening concealer. And then once we go back into fall winter, this shade probably isn't going to work for me. She says as if she has any semblance of a tan, which she does not. Okay, so the CoverGirl foundation. This is my third time trying it. I think maybe third time's the charm. The first couple of times, you know, it was hot, I was sweating, things were more susceptible to breaking down. But for today, right now, like she hasn't gone anywhere. And also I think for this foundation in particular, less is more. I feel like the less foundation I use, the less susceptible I'm to creasing. My smile lines and my chin line are where I crease up the most and where foundation and powder tends to collect the most on me. It's not any worse than it usually is with any other foundation. So I think I will definitely keep using this. Plus SPF 28, like Thank you. Yeah, I was on the fence about this before, but honestly, it really came through today. I think this is one of the best complexion days I've had in a really long time. It's been about an hour since I set everything with powder, and you can definitely see the glowy finish of the foundation coming through, but it's not breaking up on the skin at all. It's staying in place. You see, this is why I powder, because if I didn't, I would be an oil slick by now. What else did we try? Oh yeah, the Fenty Cheeks Out Cream Blush. I love these guys. This color is no exception, especially for summer. It's just the perfect sunburnt flush. It's perfect. It's a perfect color. And even though the color looks really intimidating in the pan, once you have it all blended out onto the cheek, it's so youthful. I cannot get enough of this blush color. Big fan. Plus, it worked over top of powder and it still looks great. And the new cream contour sticks from Hank and Henry are really nice. I honestly wouldn't draw directly onto my face again. I think I'm gonna keep using it the way that I normally use a cream bronzer, which is saturating the brush with the product, tapping it off on the back of my hand, and then going in to blend, because it just gives you a more even coverage, and ultimately I have an easier time blending that way. These tones are absolutely brilliant for light skin, definitely not too warm leaning. I love the shade range. I think it's pretty comprehensive. They absolutely killed it with these brushes. I don't know why anyone would choose non-synthetic brushes anymore. They are just ridiculously soft. These two in particular worked really well. I liked having a smaller foundation brush. It gave me a little bit more control. Plus this specific shape and density for cream contour, so good. And pretty much everything else I did with the face was done with this one singular palette. I will say that the matte bronzer is very warm, so if that's not your gig, then I totally understand. But you do get a lovely array of all of these beautiful face products. They can also double as eyeshadow. I love that they give you two different options for highlight, one for lighter skin tones and one for deeper skin tones. This highlight on a deeper skin tone would look unreal. I will say that there's a lot of really ultra fine micro glitter packed into this guy here. So if you're not a fan of that, then stay far away, because it is messy and it gets everywhere. But once it's on the face, it is such a beautiful finish, and it doesn't pick up on any texture on my cheeks. It is a nice highlight, and I thought the blush was super cute, especially layered on top of a more pigmented blush. I wish it leaned a little bit more glowy, because if you're going to put a little bit of shimmer into your blush, you might as well put a lot, because as it stands, it's just a touch on the powdery side, but it is a great all-around face palette, super utilitarian, perfect for travel. Plus you get a ton of bang for your buck. 6 pans. Whether you've never tried a Physicians Formula product before, or if you were a huge fan, I would highly recommend it. The Kiss lashes and chemise. I was skeptical at first. I will say the quality is nearly on par with a bold face lash. Also really lightweight, super comfortable. I kind of forgot I was wearing them. You can't really go wrong. I'm gonna go pick up another pair, absolutely. And lastly, the Fenty Gloss Bomb Heat. This is my new favorite lip gloss. I know I say that with every lip gloss I try, but this one really is my new favorite lip gloss. It's perfect. It's perfect for summer. I love that little hint of color. The texture is so right. Also, since applying it, hasn't budged, has not settled into any of the lines. It's not migrating all over the face, which is something that lip glosses want to do. And the spice level is manageable. It's already starting to dissipate, so I wouldn't be too concerned about that if you were like, oh, I'm a little bit afraid. Is it too spicy? It's really not. It's everything I wanted it to be and more. Plus, it is a perfect match for this blush. If you own one, get the other. This will be your new summer dream team. All right, I think that is it. I have to film another video. So I'm going to leave it there, but please let me know your thoughts about all of this stuff. Do you have any of this? Have you tried any of it? Did it work for you? Did it not? I want to know everything. And with that, I think I'm gonna head out, but before I do, please let me rattle off the spiel to you. Here are the many ways you can help out my channel. You can give this video a huge thumbs up. You can comment down below what you thought of everything. You can subscribe. Any and all engagement with this video is crucial to its success in the algorithm. So if you have a few spare seconds, please engage with this video. You can follow me on other social media. I will leave those right there. If you wish to support me financially, I do have a Patreon. The link is down below in the description box, along with a bunch of petitions to sign and places to donate. All right, folks, until next week, please stay safe, stay sane, wash your hands, wear a mask. Even though mask mandates are lifting everywhere, I strongly encourage you to keep wearing them, especially indoors. Just keep doing your best, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!